This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Okay, we're gonna replace this fuel pump on this 2018 Yamaha Kodiak, which has gone out twice now. One was the factory pump. The second one was a replacement factory pump. Only lasted about 6 months. So these factory pumps are horrible. So we are going to replace it with an aftermarket one. Take this clip off here. All this comes off. Find a red clip. Like that. That comes off. Like that. A little bit of fuel, no big deal. I'm gonna take all these bolts off. Little nuts. These are all 10mm little nut caps. And the problem is, like I said, these factory fuel pumps on these Yamahas are absolute garbage. They don't last. So, ring comes off, we can set that aside. And here comes the fuel pump assembly. There you have your O-ring there. You have your filter. You have your float for your fuel gauge. Within here, you have your fuel pump. So we're going to take this apart by taking off the filter. First, I might need 3 hands to do this. That goes. Filter comes off. Now we've got this piece that comes off. So then you take this blue part off here. Just snaps in with all these snaps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little snaps you got to get over. And it should pop out. And out comes the fuel pump. But the fuel pump is connected to these wires here and won't come all the way out. So you're going to need to disconnect that to give it a little more room, like that, to be able to pull back out a little farther. Then you got the fuel pump right there. Grab the 2 tabs. There's your fuel pump. So the blue part, after you get that off, just pops off. There's your fuel pump. Save all your pieces. That's garbage. That's factory Yamaha garbage. I ordered a new fuel pump from All Balls. And it comes with a lot of different adapters, the new blue part, some O-rings. All mine is all new because like I said, I just replaced this fuel pump with a factory Yamaha one. The entire assembly, less than a year ago, probably less than 50 miles ago. So I'm just going to replace the pump itself. So here we have the pump. We're going to put the blue part back on. It's going to go on just like the old pump came off. Big hole, little hole, goes in, and it just presses on. Just like that. You don't hear any snap. There's no, well, a little bit of snap, not too bad. There we go. Now we put it on just the same way it came off. We're going to pull our wire up through that we got. Okay, so when you're putting this on the pump, on the all balls pump, there's a positive and negative side, plus and minus. Just make sure you got your red and your black coordinating with that. Red to the positive, black to the negative. Click that in. Click. Now you can shove the pump back on just the way it came off. And you've got now slack for the old wire to come through. This is going to clip on to each one of these clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just like that. Click, 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 click. Now you got enough slack in this wire. Take your slack up, put this back in, plug it right back in where it was. Snaps back in. Then where were we? We got the old filter. I have a brand new filter, but this one is literally only 50 miles old maybe. So I'm going to reuse this filter. It's going to go right back and snap on. It snaps right into place on both sides like that. It's a real tight fit, super tight fit. Boy, that thing ain't going anywhere. So now we've got it back together, our new all balls pump in there. Now as we do, plug it back in. So we want to go in there, stuff our filter in there. Remember, we haven't touched our gasket here, so that should be good to go. And there's one trick here as far as getting this lined up. And I believe the dots go together like that. This dot on the... So when you line this up and you got it back in, the dot goes with this dot on the plastic housing. Then your ring will go right back on, and that notch goes to your plastic housing there. You turn it until all your bolts line up, and that notch goes to there, and then there you go. So you put it to there, then you slide it over to that notch and that notch. There you go. You bolt down your stuff. You hook your line back up here. You hook that line back up there. You hook this one back into there, and we're good to go. So let's do that now. We got the ring back on, plastic nubs lined up. We're going to put our little nuts back on. 1, 2, 3 down here. 4, 5, and 6. That one's in a little tight spot there. Start them with your fingers, then drive them down. That one goes around. Done. out, hook up your connections. Again, this one goes back on. Boom, snaps on, red goes in. Hook up your connections for your wiring. Clicks in, and we're good to go. Oh, don't forget your little breather hose there. It'll go on there. Clamp will go on there. So now that we got all that plugged in, we're going to turn it on, and hopefully we hear that fuel pump go. Hear that? Ooh, there it is. As soon as you hear that, it's good to go. It's probably got to prime a little bit. Good as new.